So once you've threaded your bobbin for your Spiegel 60609, we are going to learn how to change your bobbin or to insert a new bobbin into the machine. So as we saw earlier, I ran this brand new bobbin, and now we're going to install it. In order to do that, you have to take the accessory tray off of your Spiegel 60609. You're just going to press firmly to the left on the tray, and it's just going to pop right out. Again, you can just put that to the side. And you have a little door directly below what we call our feed dogs, and that door just drops right down. And once you're inside, you're going to see that in here you have your mechanism for your feed dogs. And for those of you that don't know what feed dogs are, they're these little teeth that guide the fabric through that are directly below the presser foot, and that's actually what keeps your fabric going through the machine straight. And there are two things behind this little door of surprises. One is the feed dog mechanism, which allows you to drop those for free motion quilting. So again, to keep the feed dogs from pulling the fabric through, maybe you're using a delicate silk, or maybe you want to control the path of the stitch. So you'll be able to simply pull that forward and slide it to the left to pull them up, or push it to the right and push it back to drop them down. So that's your feed dogs. Now, the other interesting thing that we're talking about for this particular step is your bobbin. So this is what we call a vertical rotating hook. So I love this style of bobbin. This is what we use in industrial machines. It's what we use in very high-end machines in the fashion industry. And the reason we use this is because you're using gravity to your advantage, which means it's much harder to have a clog and it's much harder to hurt your machine. So I personally prefer these kinds of bobbins. I also think they're particularly easy to get to in terms of putting them in and out of the machine. So you have a little case here, and you're going to pull the lever on the front of the case forward, and that just releases the entire bobbin from the casing. So as you can see, I have a yellow bobbin here, and we're just going to unwind it right out of the case, right? Like so. It's getting low. It needs to be changed anyway. So we have our new bobbin, which we're just going to slide into our case, and inside this case, you have a couple of grooves. So we're going to go right through that first big opening there on the groove, and there's a little hook, and we're just going to go right through that hook. Again, just straight up through it, and then you have a little spring on the front. Now, you don't have to use it, but I think it gives the machine much greater tension and control, and it's a little curlicue. We call it a little pigtail, and you just wrap the thread around that little pigtail, and then what you do is you just pull it forward to test the tension on it to make sure you get a nice clean pull. If for any reason it feels like it's sticking or it's not right, you can actually pull forward on this little hook to create a little bit more space or make it a little tighter depending on the effect that you're getting. And we'll do a whole tutorial on how to teach you how to adjust the bobbin tension so that you can get better results from not just your machine, but any machine that you use or that you own. So again, we're going to take this now, and you have this little lever. You can either use the lever to pop it in, or if you want to know for sure that you're securely in place, what you're going to do is you're going to put this little lever in the 3 o'clock position, and you're going to go into your bobbin, and you're going to slide it into the little, it has a little stem and a little groove, and you're going to press, and you're going to hear a click. That click is important because then you know it's securely into the machine. And then I take the thread and I hold it off to the left, and I take my hand wheel and I rotate it counterclockwise to send the needle into the rotary hook to pull the lower thread forward, and you're going to see that our thread from the bottom pulled right up to the top. And it's just that simple. I mean, you just pull it straight through. Again, you do all of that with your hand wheel in a counterclockwise position, sending the needle down. Again, I'm going to show you. You're going to take it into counterclockwise. You're going to go down, and you're going to notice that the hook is rotating, and it's going to pick up the thread, and it's going to pull it forward for you. And then you're simply going to close the door. We're going to leave the needle in an upright position. We're going to put our presser foot down, and we're going to go back and get our tray. Now, if you don't need to use the free arm, you can put the tray back on. Or if you're sewing pants or a shirt cuff or anything that requires you to have more mobility around your project, you can actually leave this off and use this as your free arm for the machine. So again, this shows you a lot of great little tips and tricks for the machine, but most importantly, it really shows you a great way for you to get to your bobbin, and your tray just slides right back on like that.